Isn't the curse over? Before we get to today's video, I want to take a moment to talk about Patreon. That's right, we are on Patreon now, and we have a bunch of tiers with a bunch of great rewards. You can subscribe and get things like early access to all reactions, depending on your tier, depends on which reactions you get early access to. You can vote on polls exclusive to patrons that will help determine future reaction series and more. You will get to just have various choices in terms of like getting to choose future reactions I react to, getting to choose first impressions I check out, all kinds of different rewards, and possibly more coming in the future. We're still new at this. We're still figuring things out. It's a process. It's a process. But we have multiple tiers, so whatever you would be able to donate, if you're able and willing to donate, is appreciated. It helps me out, it helps the channel out, it helps us grow. It's going to help just, standardly. It's just something new to check out. Plus, if you like getting the reactions early, that's also a plus. But it is optional. If you're unable to do it, that's completely fine. All reactions will come to YouTube just a little bit later, a week later or so. So that all being said, thank you as always so much, and let's get on with today's video. And with that being said, hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to Ready or Not 2, Here We Come. Or is it Here I Come? Is it It's Here I Come, okay. So the first of these movies came out in 2019, 7 years ago. I don't remember when I watched it, when I reacted to it, but I'm excited to see the sequel. This is a donation reward for Venom. And if you're confused, by the way, it's like, oh, aren't you doing all animations this month? It's like, no. While we're doing a big focus on animation, it's one animated movie a week. On top of another movie. And then for the final week of the month, the monthly movie week, that's when we're doing all animated movies. It's not all animated movies, period. And we're going to focus on other animations and stuff as well throughout the month on top of that. But yeah, it's not going to be like, not every movie's going to be animated. There's going to be movies during the regular weeks this month that are going to be like live action still. So just putting that out there. But either way, so the last movie felt very final. It didn't feel like it needed a sequel. Because Samara Weaving's character, I don't remember her name, won. She survived the family's hunting game, the hide-and-seek hunting game. And on top of, just generally defeating them in that, they all blew up because of LaBelle, something like that. I know it was a place. It was a place. It was a play on the name for the devil Belial or Belial, however you want to pronounce it. But I think it was LaBelle or LaBelle, something like that. It's been a little bit. But yeah, the entire thing was they had to play the game and everything. And most of the time it's just a normal game, but hide and seek is like a special thing. It's the human hunting thing. But they failed to kill her. And so as the morning come, everyone who was still alive at that point blew up. That should be the end of the curse. That should be the end of the family, like, needing to do that. Samara Weaving's character shouldn't have, like, anything more to do with that. She escaped. She survived. That's it. So, what is this sequel? I've stayed away from trailers and stuff, so I don't know what the plot goes into or whatnot. I do know that Elijah Wood is in this, though. That's like the one like notable thing that I have found out about this. And that's really interesting because
I've seen Elijah Wood in other things, but there's only a few things that I really know him for. And honestly, when I think of Elijah Wood, I think of Frodo. I think of Lord of the Rings. It is the first thing that will always come to mind above anything else. But like obviously he was in Over the Garden Wall, he was Wirt, but in terms of live action, the only other things besides Lord of the Rings that I think I've seen him in, at least that I know of off the top of my head, is his small cameo in Back to the Future and The Good Son with Macaulay Culkin. Those are the only things I can think of off the top of my head. But even then, it's like the only thing I really, really think about him, whenever I hear the name, it's like, oh, that's Frodo. It's like it's the first thing that comes to mind. It's basically the case where you have an actor who, because he became like so iconic for a very specific role, that's all he's really known for now. It's like how, like, oh yeah, Tobey Maguire's done other stuff, but everyone knows him as Spider-Man. No one will ever think of him as anything else. Um, it's not like actors like Sam Jackson who are known for multiple roles. It's like one of those actors who is known for one single specific role and has done other things but will never be like thought of for those roles. And it's kind of disappointing, it's kind of sad. Um because it's like, oh, like Tony Shalhoub was in Spy Kids, he was in Men in Black. Um he was in Polly. But everyone will always just know Tony Shalhoub as, oh, hey, it's Monk. It's Adrian Monk. And don't get me wrong, I loved Monk. I grew up with that shit. That was my shit. But it's like he's great in other things. He's shown a lot of diversity, a lot of talent. And so it's like it's always kind of disappointing when you see an actor who's typecast so much. And it's just it feels great to see actors who are known for like all of their roles. Like you think of Jim Carrey, it's like you could think of anything. Jim Carrey has done so much and he's known for all of his roles. Every single one is iconic. Whether you're talking about The Grinch, whether you're talking about Fun with Dick and Jane, whether you're talking about Liar Liar or A Christmas Carol or Number 23, so on and so forth. I know those are like a interesting sporadic mix of roles, but that was kind of the point. Hell, you could go for Sonic the Hedgehog, of course, those being his more recent stuff. You could go for Ace Ventura. He has such a massive catalog, and all of his roles are well known. Like even the Cable Guy, people love the Cable Guy and how dark it is. Also, it's just a really good movie, kind of underrated, honestly. But there are a lot of people who do love it and who praise the hell out of it and think it's one of Jim Carrey's best roles. Which fair, honestly. So yeah, it's like it's one of those things where you see an actor like Ewan McGregor, and it's like you've probably seen him in other stuff, but you only know him for playing Frodo. And so it's like it's kind of sucks and it's kind of disappointing, but I mean, what can you do? It's like that's just how pop culture sometimes unfortunately works. But maybe this movie will help propel him into a whole new world of stardom in the modern day. Because let's be honest, a lot of more modern fans and younger audiences might not really know The Lord of the Rings that much. So maybe they'll. I don't know. I don't know if this is really for younger audiences, but you know what I mean. Um, I'm wondering, like, how many are going to be like really kind of discovering or even rediscovering him through this. Plus, I'm just excited to see him in probably a very different role than I'm used to with him. But yeah, I don't know what this. I assume we're probably going to have another game kind of situation. And the fact that the title is still just a play on the on tag, it's like, is it going to be another tag situation? Is there going to be another family involved with this? Like, is she going to try to get married to someone else and their family's going to be involved? Because at that point, I would just be asking, is the devil just after me? Like, am I the target? I don't know. I don't know what to expect from this. Like I said, I've avoided the trailers. I don't know anything about the plot. Or besides Elijah Wood, I don't know who else is in this. But I'm excited. Because I really enjoyed the first one. It had this satirical punch to it that I really enjoyed. It was very much not meant to be taken too seriously, but to just have fun with and just enjoy. And the lore was pretty interesting, if nothing else. So let's get into this and see what we have in store. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. Welcome to the Afterthoughts. We'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. I really should have said something. I'd been thinking, I want to say since like maybe halfway through the movie, that it's like, I think there was like this one point where I made a statement, like, I kind of wish that like, Mr. LaBelle was like actively taking part in things rather than just being like mentioned and in the shadows and like at the very end of the last film and all. I think that was like maybe halfway through, maybe a little further than that. But I started thinking, it's like in my head, what if the lawyer, because we've never heard his name, and he's just kind of this mysterious like person who just kind of appears. I mean, most of them are, to be fair, but I was thinking, what if he's LaBelle? What if that's going to be like a big twist by the end? Because the big twist of the first film is that this shit was real in the first place. That this family wasn't just crazy and that there was actually a Mr. LaBelle, that they did really have a pact with the devil and all. And so I'm thinking like maybe there will be a big twist at the end of this one that Mr. LaBelle was part of this from the beginning, pretty much. That he was there like the entire time. And I was right, and I wish I said something, because now I'm going to be like, you're going to call me a liar, you're going to say like, oh, you weren't thinking that. But, I mean, at least I said it before the reveal actually happened. So, I guess there's that. But yeah. This movie, I feel, is exactly what it should have been. After the first movie, with its kind of satirical nature, its, you know, clear themes and messages of being anti-capitalism and anti, you know, rich people, let's just be honest here. This movie basically needed to take those themes, those messages, those ideas, and escalate them. Needed to make them bigger, more intense, more crazy. And I think the best example of, like, the escalation is actually at the very end. When all these people are in the pit, they start exploding one by one, but then there's, like, this huge explosion of people and causes the, like, almost blood geyser to shoot out of the pit. It's like, that's, like, a perfect visual representation of the escalation of this all. Of how much crazier, gorier, more like wild and intense it is, how much like they lean into the Satan worship and everything, how strongly they delve into, you know, just how fucked up and evil all these people are. Like, even the one woman who first offered the idea of marrying into the family and everything, like, even when it's like, oh, and I assume you're not evil like them, it's like, no, I'm bad too. I'm just not as bad. Which is probably true, to be fair. I mean, Titus seemed really fucking bad. He was definitely the worst of them. Like, again, he was just an outright fucking psychopath. But all of them were bad people. I felt no sympathy for a single one of them. Um, and funny enough, we didn't see it, but the wife who just left, just drove away, she would have exploded too. Thinking about it, she was the head of the family. She was in that contract. Her leaving does not matter. Everyone exploded in the end, which means she exploded too. If she was still driving, that would, of course, cause the car to crash, and that would be an interesting crime scene to discover. Um, but yeah, no matter where she was at, she exploded. You have to think about that aspect. I'm surprised that the one guy at the end exploded, though. The one who had, like, gotten out of the contract, or at least I thought he did. But I guess he just abdicated his, like, leadership of the family. He didn't actually get out of the contract with Mr. LaBelle. It was he just didn't have the position and riches anymore. So I assume that's kind of the idea behind it. But meanwhile, with Grace, her abdicating her seat, control over the council and the the head of the family, basically, after killing, Titus, she was never under contract with LaBelle. So even marrying into that, she was not under contract with him. That was just a marriage certificate. So she was free. Even LaBelle, like, almost seemed impressed when he told her that. It's like, you're free. You can go. I love that they took the goat. I'm glad that the goat wasn't sacrificed and they got the goat. Like, that's nice. Now they just have a pet goat. um but yeah, like, the insanity was definitely stepped up. These people were more cartoonishly evil than ever. Like, they were pretty cartoonishly evil in the first one, but they were much more so in this one. Um and it was a lot of fun. And that's what these movies really are. They're just good, stupid fun. Where it's like, yeah, it's within the realm of fiction, you can just kind of enjoy the idea of, rich people getting their comeuppance. Because it's fiction. It's not real. We know this kind of, like, rich people getting their comeuppance in the real world. We know that doesn't happen. So we can enjoy it in fiction and like, think of a better day. A better world. Though the Satan worship shit is, like, crazy. Wouldn't necessarily want that. Especially proving it to be true. Though I do like the entire thing about, like, these, like, 6 families owning literally everything in the world. Like, literally every company is under one of these 6 families. It's like, that's so funny. That's such a good joke because it's kind of true. It's like, think about it. Pretty much everything is owned by, like, Disney or PepsiCo or whatever the fuck else. It's like these few companies have so many, like, subsidiaries and whatnot that they pretty much just own everything. Outside of, like, mom and pop stuff, everything is owned by just a few companies that just have a lot of, like, side companies and subsidiaries and conglomerates under their belts. It's so ridiculous. Capitalism is so aggressively fucked. It is actively immoral and unethical. There is no positives to capitalism. It is a hellscape. It is fucked beyond belief. But that's I'm not going to get into all of that here. I could rant about that forever. And honestly, I don't have, like, enough of the exact specificities of know-hows and all to get into all the details of that. I don't have I don't have everything memorized that I've ever read about it and ever like heard like, actual financial analysts and political like, you know, um God, what's the word? Political majors, I guess is just a way to put it, who've talked about it and expressed how capitalism is inherently bad, like just naturally a bad thing. I've heard a lot of it, but it's like that stuff is not stuck in my head. So it's like I would need a lot of material on hand to talk about that in more detail. Um, I love the cast in this. Like, not everybody I knew. Like, if I look at the cast here, let me bring this up again. Obviously, I know Samara Weaving. She was great in the first one. She was great in this. Catherine Newton was such a fantastic choice to play her younger sister. Um, because again, like I said a couple times, they kind of look similar. It's not exact. There's obviously notable differences, and it's not just because they're blonde. But there are some similarities. You could believe that they're sisters. You genuinely could. And so it's like, plus it's just always great seeing Catherine Newton and things. She's just great. I think she's honestly kind of underrated if I'm being honest here. So she was fantastic. Sarah Michelle Gellar is always amazing. Like seriously, she's like legendary for good reason. Um, Titus was Sean Hatosi. I'm not sure. Apparently, he was in the faculty. Oh shit. Okay. I mean, I guess like that was like what 2 decades ago. So I over 2 decades ago. Actually, well over 2 decades ago. Wow. So I wouldn't have recognized him, but apparently he was in the faculty. Um, it says his character's name is Stan Rosato, but I don't know who that would be. I don't remember any of the names from that movie. Anything else? Nothing, literally nothing else I would know him for. At least in terms of movies. Nothing shows that I'm seeing. Apparently he was in a couple episodes of Dexter. Law and Order SVU. Everyone was in Law and Order SVU, let's be honest here. Yeah, no, nothing else I would know him for. Okay. He did a great job though. He did an absolutely fantastic job at playing like this absolute psycho. David Cronenberg, for as small as his role was great as well. Same with Kevin Durant. Both of them had very, very small roles and didn't really amount to too much, but both of them did great for what they were. Nestor Carbonell, who is Ignacio, he did a great job. Olivia Chang did great as Wang Chengxing, and Varun Saranaga was Madhu. He was the one who almost survived at the end. Apparently, he was in Winona Earp. Not much else. Wow, he's not been in a lot. Orphan Black, Schitt's Creek, 2 episodes of that. Okay, he's done a lot more in TV. Oh, he was Raj in Total Drama Island 2023, the reboot. He's Raj. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, well, I know his voice at least. I would have never guessed that. um, okay. And there's just pretty much everyone else like did great as well. But Elijah Wood was definitely like the standout of this because obviously it was a much more serious role than I think I've usually seen him in. Like I guess he's serious as Frodo, but well, some of the time he's a little silly, a little like fun loving, but it just depends on the point in the series. But it definitely a different kind of serious than with Frodo. Either way, um, I guess maybe seriousness isn't the right word I'm looking for. Maybe intimidating or like concerning. Um, a different kind of role than I'm used to seeing him in, or I guess hearing him in, if you want to count Over the Garden Wall. But he did great. He genuinely did a great job. He sold the character extremely well, and the reveal at the end that he was LaBelle the entire time was just as great. Like, I thought that was a fantastically handled reveal, and I just really enjoyed that we found that out. So, love that. Just overall, like this movie, like I said, it was the right level of escalation from the first. It really stepped everything up. Adding in like a new survivor with the sister, as well as this entire like conflict between them about their past and all, as well as just giving more backstory on Grace that I don't think we had in the first film. It's really cool to see. But like I said, it seems like this is even more finite than the first movie. I can't see this continuing in any way. Unless it continues from like an entirely different deal that LaBelle would have with someone else. Because the problem is that Grace is out. She's out of it completely. The only reason that this movie was able to take place, that the events of this were able to take place, is because it connected to the family that she was almost married into. Because we find out that the Satan worship wasn't the only secret they were keeping, but it was also that they were part of this council and everything. So the council and this like little like loophole, or not really loophole, but this extra game, double or nothing as it was put, um was basically the only way to get out of this. And since she found a loophole, she found a way to abdicate, to marry into it, which allows her to survive without having to be killed, but then abdicating it after killing her husband, because killing family members isn't against the rules. It's like that's basically what it amounts to, just, playing the rules. It's like, yeah, that was she's out. Again, even LaBelle told her, it's like, you're free. Not you're free to go, you're free. I feel like that wording is specifically important too, because that means that she's just out of this. And of course, we know that her sister, Faith, she wasn't in it for any other reason than she just got accidentally roped into it because of proximity. She wasn't supposed to be part of it. She really didn't have any reason to be there. So yeah, there's no reason for this to continue, at least with these characters. If this did get a third movie, I would rather it focus on completely new characters, with the only returning cast member being Elijah Wood, coming back as LaBelle. That would be the only change I would make. Or the only thing I would keep, rather. Obviously, you could still have the same themes and ideas, but kind of like treat it like not really a soft reboot, but just a different story within this kind of like mythology, this kind of lore. Again, having it like to be where it's just focused on another deal. Maybe a more singular deal, like rather than like with this big organization or family or group of families. And maybe you could like have like a cameo from Samara Weaving or something, like in the background or on a TV talking about stuff like that, or something like that could be done, but not have her actually be like part of the main cast. That could work. But yeah, I think if they do a third, just to, like work off of the hype and the success of these movies, it should absolutely be a completely separate story. Trying to continue it at this point with Grace would just make no sense, and you'd have to work through so many loops, so many just like runarounds to try and figure out how to get her character back into this. Like, I don't see that happening. I don't see it working out. So, I would be fine with this being just 2 movies, though. Not every, like, series has to, like, go on and on forever. Sometimes just, like, call it quits when you're ahead, right? And these 2 movies have both been great. I do think that I like this one a little bit more, just because, again, of the escalation. That's like the big reason. And I would still say that both are like really successful quality films that, again, are just kind of for the shits and giggles, if nothing else. But I'd love to hear what you think. Tell me in the comments below your thoughts on Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.